having a great morning. Happy Saturday. They're going to be flying HP Reverb G2 in the next plane 11 in the Ti SC2. Going to work on maybe a little bit of tweaking of VR. The whole idea maybe to this morning is if we have other users of HP G2s, Reverb G2s, it would be great to just share some information about what's working for you, what's not working, and hopefully make the experience better for everybody. Most of the reviews I've seen from people on the VR Aviators group have been very positive. A couple of folks struggling, and maybe we can help those folks out. We shall see. But today we're going to be flying from Las Vegas, and it should be a fun flight. So let's get to it here. So again, we're going to be in the G2. What you're looking at is the mixed reality portal view. Okay, that's what you guys are seeing. So it might look a little shaky. It's definitely not what I see when I'm in the headset. So just that as a disclaimer. I did get the chat, the VR Move VR working. Actually, it worked pretty simply. So now I'm able to see chat when I'm in the headset. As you can see there, I got the chat window up. So what we're going to do is, let me just show you our flight plan for today. Oh, that's the wrong window. So we'll go to here. So you can see we're going to be kind of doing a loop here. Taking off out of Las Vegas. We're going to bypass these high peaks here, fly around them, come into Calvetta Meadows, which is actually an airport I used to own in FSEconomy. And then we're going to fly through the Spring Mountains here. A little bit of a scenic flight. And we'll hang a right here and come back into Las Vegas with the city in view. So it should be a fun flight there. I've got this all ready in the G1000, so we'll just click something and click a flight planner. It'll get loaded right in, which is awesome. So much easier to do. All right, so yeah, we're going to be going cold and dark today. To give you an idea of my settings, I've got. Let me see if I could show you this. I don't think the settings come up in Windows Mixed Reality, but I can just tell you. So as far as Windows Mixed Reality, headset display, visual quality is high, and I've got the resolution set at 4320 by 2160, and at 90 hertz. All right, so that's basically how we've got those settings. Steam VR. Let's see if I can pull that up here. Nope. All right, so I've got the per eye resolution at 50%, which is 2236 by 2188. That's the overall resolution. But if in the application specifically under, well, actually I can just show you here. There you go. Specifically under X-Plane 11, I've got it set at 149%, which is 2728 by 2668. And then I've got VR smoothing enabled. Okay, I'm not sure if I should use Force Always On or not, but I guess we could play with that. And I've got, this is the first time I'm using Legacy reprojection mode. I read somewhere that helps with the smoothness of the reverb, so we shall see, I guess. So that's how we've got things set there. All right, get that off here. So say hello in the chat if you'd like to. Let's get into the. Actually, what I need to do here is I need to get into the menu to get rid of these. Get rid of the chalks and stuff. The chucks, I should say, not chalks. Let's see. So we're going to grab this here, put it right there. So we're going to take those off. All right, so we should be ready to go there. Everything is closed. This is one thing I always like to just check. This should always be disabled. Enable G1000 MFD flight plan mouse feature. Just keep that disabled. When that is on, it really kills the frame rate of this plane. So I found that out the hard way. There's the chat. I could see you guys right there. So I'm going to put you down there. Well, actually, I put you there until I start up here. So let's get. Let's see, what we got here. So we get our electric master on. Okay. And let's make sure our fuel is on. Fuel is on. And we're going to put the left master on, put our throttle to about 30%, and we'll hit the button. Beautiful, easy start right there. And then get our right master on. Do the same with the right side. Alright, good to go. Let's get our avionics on. I should have had the fuel pumps on when I did that, but that's alright. Our avionics are on. Yeah, I will tell you that it just seems to be a little bit shaky with that legacy reproduction mode. I'm going to turn that off, I think. Let's go back to idle here. Alright, so what I want to do is put you guys right there so I could see. And let's get over to flight plan. Actually, let me just change this right now while I'm thinking about it. I'm going to go to settings. Show you what I'm doing here, guys. Go to settings and go to per application, and I'm going to turn this off. Seems like it's choppier for some reason. That's actually better. Alright, so I guess we don't want that on, because that's definitely better. Alright, so we don't want that on. Alright, so let's get over to flight plan. This should be pretty simple. Get the cursor and we just scroll down to flight plan. I got that set up. You can see there's my flight plan. These are all custom waypoints that we've got put in there. Alright, so that's good to go. And we're going to put our flight plan up here so we can see where the hell we are. Let's see, we're going to go nav. We're going to bring her up to 10,000, 9,000 should be okay actually. And we're going to go 800 feet per minute. Get our flaps to take off. And we're going to roll on out and take this baby off, so that should be good. I just want to make sure I've got FSEconomy in sync here. So we're going to, let's just go to Chrome here. Boom. Alright, so here's my flight. Flying for VR Aviation. If you want to join the group, please do. We're going to be flying, let's see, we've got 5 souls on board going to Calvetta. And we've got 5 coming back. Alright, so 56 gallons of fuel, which should be plenty. I actually own this plane personally, so we got to pay a little bit of rent on that. And that's it. Alright, so good to go there. So let's get and we're getting pretty low frame rate. We're getting 23 frames per second for some reason. Not sure why. Not sure why. So when I check utilization here, I'll show you guys. So what you want to do is you want to look at GPU, but you want to go here to graphics 1. So we're only using 46% there. 46% and 49% CPU. So I'm not sure why we're only getting 23 frames per second. Doesn't make much sense to me. Does it make sense to you? Not sure. Alright, well, I guess we'll have to figure that out at some point. Alright, let's taxi and take off. I mean, it seems pretty smooth here. The experience is smooth. Frames are 30 right now. I gotta tell you, I never really noticed those blinking lights before in the Rift. Maybe they were there and I just didn't notice it. This all seems pretty good though. I mean, you know, it's a little bit jaggedy, the frames. More frame time than anything else. Alright, so we're good to go here. We're going to actually take off to the north and we're just going to turn south. We'll fly over the city here. Bring this up to 88%, which is where I like to start it. It could be because I think I have the visibility out to 80 miles, so I'm probably going to lower that to 60 once we get in the air here. Man, it's definitely much clearer than the CV1, that's for sure. Just not quite completely smooth though, and I think that's an issue with having a 4-core CPU primarily. Even though it's not overtaxed, I just, you know, I'm not sure that's I've got enough CPU power. Alright, so we're gonna go there. Let's get high enough to get 3,000 and then we'll fly over the city. And we'll head south to where we're going here. Here's the airport. Alright, let's get our autopilot on. Yaw damper, autopilot on. So we'll get it up to 9,000. I just want to check utilization while we're flying here. So right now, I'll turn this on for you so you can see. So right now we're hovering around 64% in the GPU, 56% in the CPU. Using 10 gig of memory, of GPU memory, VRAM if you will. Uses every bit of that. So even though we're flying at 60, we're getting 30 frames. It's not going anywhere over 30 frames. It seems like it's just locked at that number and won't go above it. So I'm trying to figure out if there's a setting or something that I'm missing that will allow it to go above 30 frames per second. Frame time is obviously important, but if I've got 40% headroom on the GPU here, then I should be able to get more frames, I would guess. Right now I got 50% headroom on the CPU. So anyway, just a thought there. If anybody has any ideas, I'm all ears. So today I wanted to go over the November update for our FSEconomy group. Actually, I don't think I need to fly to 9,000. I think I can go to 8, which is what I'm going to do. Or actually 75. Should be fine. Those are the peaks over there. We're going to be kind of cutting it across the middle here. So I wanted to give you guys an update for those of you who are members of the FSEconomy group, VR Aviation. If you're not, you can please feel free to join up. You can check that out. But let me get to FSEconomy. Alright, so let's see, let's go to VR Aviation. So first, let's take a look at the monthly statement for our FBOs. It takes a little bit to load here. We'll go back to November, previous month. So you can see our FBO operations made about $130,000. It's pretty good. We did buy some supplies and stuff, so we operated at a net loss, but that's okay. We figure about $170,000 it costs a month to run all the FBOs that we have in the network. So that's that. Let's take a look at the monthly for operations flights. That is. Month here, so you can see we had 1.7 million in assignment income, and after we paid out pilot fees and fees and everything, 338,000, which is great. We didn't break even on aircraft rentals, but I never expect to. So that's that. Now, if we go to the VR Aviation website, you can check that out, vraviation.wixsite.com/VRAviation. Basically, go to our reports here, and I want to show you the activity, pilot activity. Go back to last month. Oops. Last month. Should be pretty quick. Boom. So Crackerjack was actually the winner of the November contest. We won 50,000 virtual FSE dollars, if you will. Funds, 142 flights, 25% margin. We basically brought in about 170,000 in net income for the group, which was awesome. Thank you very much. Coyote also flew his butt off, as well as Skidmark. I didn't do too well on the margins because a lot of these are ferry flights where I'm bringing planes back that people leave at the airports that need to get back to our home ports. So, but anyway, thanks to everyone who flew for the group this month, or last month I should say. Remember, You need to get at least one flight in a month to maintain your membership with the group. We had one person that it's the first time I had to kick somebody out of the group. Unfortunately, there was a person who was using our planes and not registering the flights to the group. He actually had done this dozens of times in October and November, and it wasn't. You could tell it was actually intentional. So unfortunately, I had to remove that person, who I won't mention, out of the group, so that's gone, and that person's not eating up the group resources without flying for the group. So in any event, that's the first time that's ever happened. But again, appreciate everyone who flies. Droji, Mouse in Your House, Dragon's Bend, Full Trotter, Albi 12, Paramox, Aero Pelican. Thanks, guys, for flying. Keep up the great work. We need the revenue to keep the group going. FSE's kind of died down a little bit since the big fervor. It got a real kick from the release of FSEconomy, but things have kind of died down a little bit. So, but thanks to everyone for the flights, and we'll be doing the contest again in December. The person with the number of flights and maintains a margin of 20% or above will get $50K, and that comes from my personal FSE, not from the group. So I'm putting that up personally. All right, guys. So again, appreciate all the flight activity. And let's see. So a couple things I wanted to talk about. Let's just see where we are here. So we should probably. We're going to be crossing. Wow, these mountains look amazing with this headset. A lot of people are asking me about the sweet spot of the G2, and I will tell you that there's definitely, not a major difference between this and the CV1. The CV1, I remember, and I haven't used it in a while, but I remember I could look at a point straight on, not move my head, and then turn my eyes and be able to read the panel. But I can't do that with this, which basically tells you that the sweet spot is smaller. Now, the interesting thing is that is the case with X-Plane 11 when I'm looking at this, the panel of the plane. But when I'm in the Windows Mixed Reality room or the Steam VR room, I don't really get that. It seems much clearer when I look in the peripherals. So I'm going to test that out again, because I'm not sure if that's application dependent or if it's actually something with the headset. So for example, if I'm looking, right now straight on, the PFD looks amazingly clear, okay? If I just turn my eyes to the left and look at the de-icing panel, it looks a little fuzzy, but if I turn my head like this, it comes into complete focus. Okay, like crystal clear, complete focus. Okay, so just like that. Like right now, if I'm looking at the PFD, the chat window that I have up is kind of blurry. I mean, I really, to the point where the small text I can't make out. But if I turn my head just a little bit like that, now it's completely clear, and I can read it. All right, so there's definitely in X-Plane a sweet spot where there's a lot of head turning to make sure that you get that sweet spot when you're looking. I'm sure that has something to do with the lenses. I'm not sure if it's application dependent. It probably isn't. But I just remember being in the mixed reality window and or room, I should say, and the Steam VR room when you're out of applications, and the peripherals just seemed clearer. So I'm going to test that a little bit more, and I'll let you guys know what I find. Or maybe if you guys have any thoughts on that, I'd love to hear it. All right, so we're crossing the Spring Mountains here. We get to our waypoint in 12 miles. We're going to start our descent into Calavetta. I mean, I will tell you, looking at that right wing, that's completely smooth. Completely smooth. Hey guys, say hello in the chat. I feel a little bit lonely here. All right, real quick, a couple other things. X-Plane 11. I went to log on today, and they released a new beta 3 for 11.51. Let's see, what was the changes? Yeah, so nothing to do with the Reverb G2. I was hoping that they had fixed that, but apparently there was some IP protocol issues and some error messages and crashes that they fixed. They're working on the Reverb too. They're investigating the issues and trying to get that, I guess, working better, which is good. So I haven't updated to beta 3. I probably will either later on today or tomorrow. By the way, if you haven't already, make sure you join VR Aviators group on Facebook. There's 2,600 people there that have an interest in flying in VR, and if you have questions or you're thinking about getting into it, these folks are very helpful, can really help you, understand or at least answer your questions that, if you have any questions about it. So be sure to join that. Just search VR Aviators on Facebook, and you'll see the group, and we'd love to have you in there. Good, Mark. How you doing, man? Am I super sampling in Steam VR? Let me show you how I've got my settings in Steam VR so you can see that. Let me give me a second here. So here, desktop, and you can see my Steam VR settings. Okay, here's the settings. I've got eye resolution at the basic configuration at which is 50%, which is basically what the eye resolution is in the headset. Okay, advanced super samples filtering off. So I guess I got super sampling off. I guess we should try turning this on. What do you think? Diesel, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Yeah, I've never tried this on before, so I can certainly try that. Let me show you how I have it per application. So I've got this at 149%, smoothing enabled and legacy reproduction mode off. I had this on before, but it seemed a little bit choppy, so I turned that off. Any ideas or suggestions about that? So we're gonna try advanced super sampling filtering on. We're gonna making that change. Oh, look at that! I just got increased frame rate. Wow, now it's up to 36%. 35 frames per second. That's interesting. Let's go to super sampling. I'm gonna turn that off. That didn't make a difference, but now I'm over. I'm going to turn it back on here, so it's on. You can see here I'm getting 35%. I'm going to have to land here, so. You have it on for index. Okay, well, I'm going to. Now, I could see the airport. I can see the runway. I would never have been able to see that before with CV1. No way in hell. This is very, 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 very smooth. Super smooth. I love flying in the Nevada desert. It's awesome. It uses better down sampling, so if you're super sampling with high resolutions, you get smoother results. All right, so basically I'm going to leave that on then. Did you get over OVR Toolkit? No. I guess I should. But I can tell you this is much better. Thanks for that tip, Michelle. I really appreciate that. Now now I'm looking down there. I would never be able to make out that runway as clear as I am with the CV1. That's what's so cool about this headset. You can really get bearings on where you are when you're flying. I just wish the colors were a little bit more vivid. You know, the colors are pretty muted on this headset. That's the one thing I don't like about it. You know, I miss those brilliant colors of the OLED display. How did I get chat window? Move VR. Move VR is a X-Plane 11 plugin that you can get on xplane.org. Move VR. All right, so we're going to make our turn here. Yeah, this is much better. Thanks, man. See, these are the things. You get a new headset, you kind of have to get used to stuff, you know? You know what? Skidmark, I have not used the zoom button. I don't have it set up, but I don't need it. I have not needed it. You know, the CV1, you always needed the zoom button, right? What's really cool is I don't need the zoom button. I have visibility set to 80 miles right now, 80 statute miles. There's my runway. I can make that out perfectly from here. Gears down. First level flaps. Have I tried watching a movie on that? We can do that. Well, I don't know if I'll watch one of my own videos. Give me a second here. Let me land and we can test that out. But no, I haven't yet. Alright, this is super smooth, I gotta tell you. So full flaps. This is awesomely smooth right now. Yeah, so flying in these deserts, always better frame rates, always better frame time. That I found in VR, because there's just less structure, you know, there's no, although I have trees zapped anyway, but, you know, there's just less structure, so it's going to be, this is so smooth, man. This is so incredibly smooth. Wow, this is awesome. Alright, good landing. Yeah, it's great that you don't need that button anymore. I would burn batteries on the Oculus Touch using the zoom button. You know? Yeah, this is great, man. Alright, so let me turn this plane around, because we're going to be taking off the other way. And get into the grass a little bit there. Oh well. Flying in VR is so cool, man. Just is. Alright. Parking brake on. Yeah, this is much better, man, since I turned that... Now, here's what I don't like. The controller goes to sleep, and you got to press a button to turn it on. They need to have auto awake on this thing. It's got an accelerometer in it. You should be able to pick it up and have it turn on. All right, so we just hit that parking brake, and we're going to check out where we are here. Let's see. Plug in. Finish the flight. Alright, we're going to start the flight. So we have those assignments. We're going to take these guys back to Las Vegas. You're welcome, Cracker. Thanks for all the flights, man. It's really, you really help, you know, you really help move things along and, you know, help build the group, and it's really appreciated. Oh, the Ti SC2 is fantastic, man. It's fantastic. It's one of my favorite planes. What were we going to try to do? Oh, move VR video, you said, right? We're going to try to do a video. So let me see if I can get one of my videos up here. Because I don't want to do a copyright infringement. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Alright, we'll pull up this video of that I just did on upgrading my PC. If you haven't checked that out, I went through the whole planning process that I'm gonna be doing for upgrading my PC. So let me pull that up here.
Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help.
Because I don't want copyright. All right, so we're gonna just
put a lot of thought into this.
Do this on
and,
low.
I wanted to run it by you guys. You know, as you know, I've been talking about doing this for quite some time. So let's get into it. So basically, the reasons why I want to upgrade.
Put this in theater mode, so it's bigger, and then I'm gonna go to Move VR.
I want to go to a i7.
Will differ from game to game, so always double check that setting. Yes.
Now I'm also looking at the
They should allow you to do it on the application in Steam VR, but they don't. All right, so Move VR, manage Windows. All right, so let me just look here. What we got
about the same performance.
This guy here.
Goes and stuff, so it's really about the
best quality.
$60. Also, I want to get more USB
move to
ports.
No, I want to move to VR. There we go.
The plan is to use this computer for not only gaming, but for music production and video production. Right now I'm using a
Alright, so we take this window here, grab the bottom like this. Oh, that's not it.
For video editing and hopefully consolidate down.
Grab the bottom and make it bigger.
Computer platforms. Right now I have
it's not incredibly, it's kind of blurry.
MacBook Pro and I've got a Mac Mini. It's like too much.
It's okay if it's that small. Maybe there's some adjustments. I mean, you could definitely bring it in. That's YouTube. That's actually. I mean, you could bring in Netflix as a native application too if you wanted to. But it's definitely doable, I would say. And it's listen. This is a free plugin, so let me just turn that off so it's not distracting.
I also do music production. I have a home studio.
All right. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely bring that in. Like what I would say is, like, if you want to use Netflix or whatever, you could just bring it in natively. All right, so we're going to take off here to our next waypoint. Let me just scroll this down here so we can see where the hell we're going. This one's going to take us to the mountains a little bit, so I'm going to just in case, we'll go to 9,000, and we're going to go up 800 feet per minute. And let's get this puppy rolling. Yeah, the Ti SC2 is really simple to, at least in X-Plane, the Aerobas is super simple to start up. It's one of the most, user-friendly airplanes there is. All right, so let's get to 88. We have FSEconomy engaged. Just double check that. Yep, flight in progress. So we're going to be taking off here. Now I want to check the utilization, the GPU utilization, since I turned on that super sampling setting. All right. Gear up, flaps up, set our trim, get a little airspeed going here. We're going to turn on Autopilot. Now if I did my navigation correctly, we're going to go up into that little valley and head right up and through into the Spring Mountains. So hopefully the Autopilot can take us that way. What's the plugin called? It's Move VR. Move VR. It's just for X-Plane 11. Yeah, thanks, Sar. Appreciate that. Yeah, Move VR is awesome. So if you're like going to do a long flight or something like that, and you want to watch a movie or you want to watch Narcos or whatever, boom, you just pull it right up and watch it. It's pretty cool. All right, so we're gonna, let's see, we've got, hopefully this just works perfectly. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I want to look at utilization. So right now we're pulling 34 frames, between 30 and 34 frames, and I'm gonna look at, let's bring it up here so you guys can see desktop. So when you go to performance, you don't want to have it on 3D, you want to have it on graphics 1. Alright, so this is the 1080 Ti. We're not, we're 60% there and 50% there. So, you know, the question is, why do you have 40% headroom on the 1080 Ti and you're only getting 34 frames per second? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's an interesting question. You guys have a clue? All right, VR Toolkit. Was that what it's called? What's it called, Diesel? Is it VR Toolkit? Or OVR Toolkit? OVR Toolkit. Let me pull it up here so you guys can see it. There it is. OVR Toolkit. Control media from your wrist. $11.99. Alright, I guess I got to get this. So this basically works with everything. Works with SteamVR overlay. Oh, do you have to use... okay. So... my question is, I wonder if this is going to show, like, if the chat window would show up, because I'm using Windows Mixed Reality Portal for the view rather than SteamVR, because SteamVR's mirror is awful. So I'm going to have to check that out. I mean, it's $11, so it's worth checking out. OVR tool. All right, I'll make sure I check that out. Thank you. I remember you telling me about that before. I just forgot to do it. It's not like I don't, you know, a million things to do, so I just don't get to everything. OVR tool. Awesome, thanks, man. Alright, let's check out what we're doing here. Okay, we are climbing, but I'm not sure if we are climbing fast enough, so we're going to take this over. Get ourselves up a little bit here. A little bit more power. But super smooth experience, I'll tell you that. Oh yeah. Not only with like gaming stuff, but at work. Major stuff happening with my company, like some really good stuff. You guys don't know who I work for, so I guess I could say it. But it looks like well, I'm not going to say it because maybe someone does know, and I can't reveal it. But there's some really good stuff happening at the company I work for, and yeah. So Monday we'll know a lot more, but could mean some good things, which is great. All right, so I think I calculated this all hit right through that valley right there. This is much better, man. Thank you for that setting. We'll see how it is when we land with buildings. That'll be the true test. You know? Yeah, and Diesel, thanks for all the flights on air. I looked at it yesterday. I know that they made some updates for virtual airlines. I saw some of the updates. It's a good first step. There's still a lot more, but it's a good first step. It's much better than it was. So hopefully, and I saw we got 17 million now, which is great. Thanks for finishing up all those jobs. I know that you've done most of that heavy lifting there. So that's much appreciated. Yeah, it is starting to look good. You know, it's nice that you're able to fly that A320. I'd like to get into doing that too. Wow, this is nice and smooth, man. This is super smooth. What kind of frame? 35 frames right now. Frame time is under 3. So that's the thing. When your frame time is under 3, that's when it's smooth. That frame time is super, super, super important. You know, people focus on frame rate. Oh, I don't get 45 frames. You don't need 45 frames per second when you're flying this slow. You need a 30 plus, and you need a good frame time. Right? You guys agree? I try to hammer that home every time, you know, we talk about performance, but, you know, a lot of people are so concerned about frame rate. And with a flight sim, frame time is more important, or as important, I should say. Frame rate's important. I'm not saying it's not. You'll be doing some bush trips. That's awesome, man. I appreciate it. I really do. All right, so we're through the mountains. So let me get that autopilot on here, and this will take us home. Dude, this headset has no screen door effect at all. There isn't any. I mean, if you really like focus on it, you could see I mean, it's not noticeable. Screen door effect is barely noticeable with this headset, which is one of the greatest things about it. All right, we don't need to be at 9,000. Well, actually, we're going to be at 9,000 anyway, so I guess we can probably go down to 7,000. Yeah, no SDE. You know, the Oculus Rift CV1. You see that screen door. Right, and right now you look out into the distance, and I can see the definition in those mountains. Not the first set of smaller mountains, the larger mountains right in front of me at my 12 o'clock. I can see shadow definition and color definition and differences in the terrain very, very, very easily, and that's a big difference. Yeah, Ashel, what are you using now? What's your what headset are you using now? Curious. Yeah, this is much better. Rift S. Okay, so you'll lose a screen door, and I think you'll see a big difference in clarity. Everyone that's gone from Rift S, most people. There was one person I saw on Facebook that said they didn't see a difference. Most people say there's a pretty big difference between Rift S. I'm coming from CV1, so there's a much more drastic difference. But definitely you're going to see the removal of screen door. And for you, the colors aren't going to be too different, because I don't think the Rift S was OLED. I think that was LCD. It's LCD. This is an LCD screen, so you're not getting those same. What's the word I'm looking for? Highly defined colors that you got with the Rift CV1 because of that OLED display. These are a little bit more muted colors, but still okay. Magenta's magenta, green is green. It's just a little muted. Vivid, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Vivid. So Skidmark, I don't know, and the other guys who are VR Aviation members on FSC, you guys probably didn't notice, maybe you did, that I had to kick somebody out. It's the first time that's happened. I mentioned it before. This person was using our TBM 930 at Cape May, dozens and dozens of times without, basically flying personal flights. And I mean, had it been one or two times, then I'd be like, okay, no problem. But it was obvious that this person was basically signed up for the group to take advantage of no rent and not fly for the group. Which to me, I mean, it's a game. I mean, are you kidding me? I don't understand why, if you're part of a game, why you wouldn't like try to help the group if you wanted to belong to the group, So anyway. Well, I'm going to tell you, Ashil, that the block levels. One of the problems that I found with this headset, the G2, is nighttime flying. Because LCDs doesn't handle grays very well, and and it needs lit environments to look proper. When you're like on a tarmac and all you've got is like your landing light, if you look to the left, everything is like black. So you don't get like light gray colors or light black colors. That's a problem. Nighttime flying with this headset, for me, in X-Plane 11, hasn't been a great experience, unfortunately. But, you know what? I don't do a lot of nighttime flying anyway. Evening flying looks awesome. It looks awesome. But it's the nighttime flying that's sort of a problem. All right, I'm going to... Oops, that's not what I wanted. So we're going to go down to 5,000. i7 4900 X-Plane night flight horrible. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's the CPU. It's really the yeah, it's not the CPU or the GPU. It's this headset, the LCD screen. That's the problem. You remember in the CV1 there was always like this graininess to night flight, so that wasn't great either. But you could at least see the definition of things in low light situations. With this headset, the G2 and because of the LCD display, in low light nighttime flying situations, like you can't see stuff. Like you can see street lights and you can see car lights, but you can't see like faint images of the cars. They're all just, you don't see them. So the G2 does not handle night flight very well, but oh well. Big deal. Yeah, I'm hoping that this landing is smooth when we start to get closer to the buildings here. Right now we're at 30 frames per second, and just take a look at the utilization, performance. Remember to have this on graphics 1, so you can see I'm getting just around 60% on the GPU right here, 65%, and 54% on the CPU, so reasonable. Yeah, so you can see the city right there. Start to see the buildings start to pop up as X-Plane draws them as we get closer. Looking at that first range of mountains right there to my 11 o'clock, you can definitely see faint definition. It's not crystal clear, but you can see faint definition of the shadows and stuff. Why don't we do a Grand Canyon flight? After this we'll do a Grand Canyon flight, because if I remember correctly, the Grand Canyon looks pretty cool in X-Plane. Looks like MFS is not currently available on Amazon. Not sure. Yeah, I bought mine directly from Steam. I bought it from Steam. Yeah, so if I remember, MFS, yes. Hoover Dam looks awful, if I remember correctly. But here in X-Plane 11, I think it looks pretty good. So we're gonna take a flight there and check it out. Do a little scenic thing once we land here in Las Vegas. And maybe we'll switch this to the, we'll hop in. Oh, you know what? Oh, I know what I wanted to do. Thank you, Skidmark, for sending me the link for the Baron G1000. It's awesome. It's fantastic, man. Really is great. And that's what we're going to fly next. So you guys can check that out. It's really good. It's much better than the steam gauges, in my opinion. I know some people don't like glass cockpits, but it's just easier to control the autopilot and all that from having the G1000. Yeah, thanks. I really do appreciate that. I was actually thinking about just doing a video on that plane, just to let people know about it, because it's really good. It's really good. All right, definitely making out the city now. We're going to bring her down to 4,000 feet. Start to slow the airplane up here. I tell you what, let's do a little evening landing here. Let me go to, now I can see the frames are starting to come down. Now I'm at 23, 24. Let me go to flight configuration. And I'm going to go to time of day, resume flight. Oh, time of day. Now that looks cool. But see, I still see that little bit of fog when I look down there at the rudder pedals. But this is very cool. I mean, there's a little. It's like a hazy. It looks like a hazy evening. The best way to describe it, because this LCD screen doesn't really pick up the darker situations that well. But I don't know if you can see that. If I look down at those rudder pedals, it's just like a little bit of haze in front of it. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. All right, so there's Las Vegas, the Strip. Actually, why don't we do this? Let's do a Strip flight here. That is super smooth, man. And great visuals. Listen, someone asked me a question, on one of the comments was, let me just slow this plane down a little bit here. One of the comments was, is the G2 as good as looking at a high-res monitor? The answer is no, right? I mean, it's not real-life vision, okay? It's a VR headset. It's one of the best I've seen. That's for sure. Like, that definition's awesome. It's pretty cool. Now we're starting to get into a little bit of frame. Not stuttering, but a little bit of stuttering. But this is cool, though. But again, you got that little bit of haze to it because of the LCD, It still looks cool. Well, I guess what I was getting at is, it's not, the G2 is not going to be like real vision. When you're looking at a 14.4, 1080p, or even 1080p, or a 4K monitor, your eyes are seeing it, right? So you're getting like reality vision. This is virtual reality vision. You're not gonna, you're looking at two 2K monitors, basically in front of your eyes. It's not going to look as detailed as looking at a monitor. It's very, it's very good and immersive, but it's not going to be quite like that. Yeah, it's not even. Yes, it's closer to a 1080p, but it doesn't have the crispness. If you were looking at a nice 1080p monitor or an X-Plane 11, it's going to look a lot crisper than it does in the headset. We all know that. Anybody that's involved with VR knows that, So I'm getting some pretty decent stuttering right now here. There's a lot of buildings here. See, there we go. We've got a rendering issue. Okay. So we're getting some pretty decent stuttering here. Wow. We get out over here so I can get away from the buildings. Clears up as we get away from the buildings, I'm sure. That's much better. You can see the sim slow down there, Now that's much better. Alright, so that was a good experiment. Now maybe it would have been different with in the higher light. I don't know, but that was a good experiment. So that means that the 1080 Ti and the CPU were chugging along there when we started to get into a low light situation with a lot of buildings. But that's why I need to upgrade my CPU, which I'm planning on doing. Going to get a i7 10700K. I was looking at either that or the i9 850K. There's like a $60 difference. And I looked at a bunch of videos today, and there really wasn't much huge difference in performance. So I'm going to go with the i7, save $60. And it's a Z490 board, so if I, down the road, if I want to upgrade the CPU, I think it's going to support the 11th gen platform too, so it'll at least put me in a situation where I can, upgrade the CPU down the road if I want to. That looks really cool. So this is very smooth. It's just those buildings. We're getting into a lot of. Hey, how you doing? Get Fly Sim. Is that what you said? I can't hardly read that. Hold on. I'm trying to land the plane here, guys. Alright, so we got 85. Alright, that's pretty smooth, pretty cool. So airport structures are fine. This is a pretty big airport, right? So that's fine. This was very smooth. It's that Las Vegas in the evening time kind of put a crimp in the configuration here, in the settings. Alright, so let me, hold on, parking brake. Alright. And we're going to go FSEconomy. Oh, you guys are looking at the whole screen there, sorry. Forgot to turn that off. Finish flight. Good. And let me go to flight configuration. And I want to change this back to daytime. Alright, much better. Alright, let's plot a flight We're at Las Vegas. We're going to get our butts to Hoover Dam. So let's take a look at that. Let me just get down to Sky Vector. You guys can see here. I clear this out. So we're going to go Kalos. And Hoover Dam's like right around here. So we're going to fly to, where's Grand Canyon? We'll land at Boulder City, so this is KBVU. KBVU. BVU. But we're going to take a little bit of a detour. So here's Hoover Dam, so we're going to fly here. Right there. Tari. And we'll fly to there. Prino. We'll take it off autopilot here. And wait, what am I doing here? Alright, so we're gonna go. We're gonna want to land this way, so let me just get my okay, so that's our landing. So we're gonna go fly here over Lake Mead. We're gonna come into Hoover Dam this way like that to Utari. Nope. We'll just do this waypoint right there. We'll just set our own waypoint. Boom. Then we could fly back and forth here if we want to, but we'll come into this guy. That's not what I wanted. Come here. Alright. It's a short flight. We can actually go here, kids. And fly over Lake Mead a little bit. Let's see if we can go here. Actually, this is probably the best bet. Prino's good. Alright, so let me save that. Download that. Alright. And let me show you how I do this. So we're going to go to... Oops. We're going to go to... let's see... This guy, we go to downloads, and we go to BBU, pull that up, we click that, boom. That makes this flight plan right here. You can see it. And we just drop this into here, and now replace. Now when we go into X-plane, get off this off display. Go Fly Sim. How you doing, man? Thanks for joining. Hey guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Appreciate it if you would. All right, so we're going to go over to here to our G1000, and we're going to go flight plan, and we can see there's our flight plan. So we're going to just make sure we got our first waypoint selected, which activate leg, boom, and we want to fly at. Let's just see our altitude that we need. Hold on one second here. So we're going to fly... we don't have to be too high here, so we can go to like 4,000. Can you check if there's any change in FPS if mixed reality portal window is full screen? Yeah, I can do that. I think I can do that. No, there's no FPS change. It's 25 full screen, and it's 25 when I have it reduced. Didn't make any difference, and X-plane's FPS. Alright, so let's see here. Let's go check out the Hoover Dam, guys. All right, so we got 4,000 set. Let's go to flight plan. All right, we're gonna go altitude 4. Oh, we already said 4,000, and we're gonna go 7 per minute. Set our flaps to takeoff. You work for a company that built that dam. That's pretty awesome. All right. We are taking off. Did I end the flight? I think I did. Let's just make sure I ended the flight. Yep. In FSEconomy. All right, we got 68, 72, 76, rotate. Gear up. Trim up, flaps up. Oh, I wanted to change to the Baron. Damn it. We'll change to the Baron when we land a Boulder. I want to look at that. I want to show you guys the Baron. It's awesome. All right, so let's get our autopilot on here. And I'm going to take a sip of coffee. That looks smooth as hell. Hey, you got to give a shout out to 427 Motorsports, aka Skidmark. He has been flying for VR Aviation and FSEconomy for probably about 3 years now, and I really appreciate it. He's one of the people that has stuck with the group. We've had a lot of people come and go, but him and Quixote, Cracker, a few others have really stuck with the group, and I just want to say thanks for that, man. It really helps to have other people flying. We're not a huge group, you know, like some of the other ones, but you know, appreciate it. You know, one of the problems, FSE, the board removed the ability to message all of the members in your group right from the group screen, and now it's like, how the hell am I supposed to communicate with people in the group anymore? There's no like multi person messaging in the community messaging. So the only way to do it is on Discord, and not everybody is a member of Discord. So it's really kind of like, it's kind of messed up, you know. I'm actually gonna set my altitude right here. There's lovely Lake Mead. So, you know, I asked if they could put it back, and they said, no, we can't do that because of this, that, and the other thing, or they go over their limit. But it's really limiting the use. To me, it's going to hinder the way that people who are operating virtual airlines in FSEconomy, the way that they communicate with the people that are in their group. It just makes it much harder. But I guess those folks don't care too much about that, right? They're not getting paid for it. It's a free service, so you got to live with the feature set. Now, those mountains right there, those ridges, or I guess you'd call them bluffs or whatever, amazing red colors. Really cool. Now, this is all Ortho 4XP. You know, I'm thinking I should maybe step up my game. I think I'm using 16 resolution Ortho. I can't remember. It's been so long since I did it. But in any event, let's enjoy the sights. Let me get a cup of coffee here. A sip of coffee. All right. Much better. Yeah, so I'm looking at like the screen, the X-plane screen versus the screen that you're seeing. I mean, the image you're seeing is pretty good. So you got to remind me, when we land at Boulder, I want to check out the Baron 5000. Sorry, Baron with a G1000. So you got that creek right there, a river. Not sure what river that is. And we're going to make our turn here. Beautiful Lake Mead. I don't know if you've ever seen Lake Mead in person. It's pretty cool. Especially right by the dam there. The dam is amazing. Massive. It's massive. I'm going to slow this down a little bit. So here's an example of the clarity. So when I look at that screen, okay, you see right here where it says nav1, I can read that from this distance. I mean, if I go in closer, it's much clearer. But I can make out where it says nav1. You could not make that out where the riff, or where it says volume, right there, or push. You can make all that stuff out. All right, let's get ourselves down to 2,900 feet. Yeah, I regret when I was there. I had gone to Vegas one time with actually my wife and my in-laws. This is years and years ago. And we went to Hoover Dam on a day trip to Hoover Dam. And I regret not going inside to do the tour. Or maybe we wanted to do it and it wasn't available for some reason. It might have been that. Because I'm sure if I was there, I'd want to do it. But unfortunately, I didn't do the tour. All right, so if I remember correctly, there's a valley right up there which we should be going through. I'm going to fly a little slower and lower once I hit this waypoint, and then I'm going to I'll take it off autopilot. We'll fly manual. Put the flaps on, fly a little slower. Actually, let's get the flaps. Fly at 50%. I don't know if you guys have checked it out yet, but in the G2, getting the C-172, fly out of Juneau and fly to the north and make a right and go up and fly into that glacier. It's called the Melinak Great Glacier, something like that. I forget what it's called exactly. It is unbelievable, dude. It's unbelievable. All right, right there, that little valley right there is what takes us to the dam. So we're going to fly into there. We're doing 100 knots now, so. Kind of keep things. You can definitely see the coloration of the mountain, of the rock there. One thing I have to remember, I know for a lot of people, viewing this, I'm moving my head maybe a lot like this, and I'm sure it can get like shaky. I've actually had people complain about that. Not that I mean, I kind of care because I can't really help it, but I try to keep my head smooth because I know visually it's tough to watch sometimes when you're moving your head around. All right, so we got 114 knots. We're coming down here. And super smooth. Super immersive. Super immersive. Going to buy a Baron in Europe somewhere. Is there a way for the group? Yes, if you lease it to the group. You have to lease it to the group. Oh, we got our stall notification. Now, there we go. There's the dam. What happened to the bridge? Maybe the bridge is further up. I'm not sure. I mean, I have structure settings on medium. I thought this was a lot better. I guess it's not. I know what I'm thinking about. Aerofly. Aerofly has the best Hoover Dam. That's right. This has a shitty Hoover Dam, as does FSEconomy. Aerofly has the best Hoover Dam. Okay. My mistake, guys. Sorry. That was disappointing. But still cool terrain to check out. Yeah, so if you buy the Baron and you lease it to the group, just keep the rental. We'll keep the rental at 0, and then anybody will fly. I'd like to check that out. That's for sure. I got to make sure. I might have removed Europe from my X-Plane installation. I'm not sure. All right, so let's go land at Boulder, and we'll check out the Baron. Bruce, how you doing? Good morning. Glad you stopped by. Good to see you, man. All right, we're going to get over this ridge here. This looks stunning. And super smooth. But I want to show you guys the G1000 Baron that Skidmark turned me on to, 427 Motorsports. Well, I appreciate that, Bruce. I'm just trying to fly planes here. Just trying to fly planes and entertain. All right, so we're going to go... We'll let this plane bring us in here. I guess we can go to 3,900. 3,700. All right, so we're going to make a right here. We'll go land at Boulder. We'll change to the Baron. G1000, fly around here a little bit. Yeah, that setting, that super sampling setting really helped. That's for sure. A Shell pointed that out. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. All right, so we're flying a little higher. Let's altitude. Boom, set there. Good. So we're going to hang a right, flying to Boulder. You can see all the electrical coming from the dam right there. All the high tension wires. Right over there. I can make all that out with the G2. Pretty cool. Yeah, so I started selling my CV1. I sold the touch controllers already. I'm selling the cable, selling a couple sensors. I may keep the headset because the sound is broken in it. It doesn't work properly. I don't know. I'm just thinking about maybe just keeping the headset. I don't know. So I think I could only get like $50-$60 for it. And maybe for nostalgia purposes, like to hang on the wall or something like that. You know. Might be cool to have. Alright, let's get situated here. So we're going to start slowing down. Oh, we already got our flaps up. So where's my airport? There it is. I see it. Could never see that in the Rift. CV1, I guess I gotta make sure I specify. Alright. We'll come from the east here. Super smooth. Gear down. Nice looking airport. Full flaps. We are lined up. We got one orange. We need two oranges. There we go, two orange. So we are on the right descent angle. Keep that slowing down. Staying with two orange. Beautiful. Beautiful. Watch that trim. 86. Nice airport. Super smooth here. Wow, super smooth. All right. Nice mountain right in front of us there. All right, we could fly the Baron anywhere we want. How about we go to... well, actually, it probably would be quicker to do it here because the scenery's already loaded. So we'll just do it here. Where are we? BVU? Is that what it is? Alright, let's go to here. And we're going to go to... We're going to go to flight config. Alright. And we are at BVU. So let's go Baron. I think there's the Baron G1000. Now I did set up a new some liveries. But that livery, let's go with the red. Let's go to K. B, V, U. 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 Boulder City. We'll take off here. Start engine. We'll have the engines running. Just make it easier. All right, hopefully this will load up fast. Decently fast. Start new. Waiting for X-Plane. Oh, that was quick. All right, 35 frames per second. All right, 32 coming down to 30 frames per second. Let me look at the utilization here. Performance is at, oh, this is 88, 86, 88. So it uses a lot more probably because of the G1000 or the way it's implemented, but we're getting higher frame rate. So 89, almost 90% GPU. But all right, cool. Let's let me get, oh, I gotta get MoveVR in here. When you change planes, you gotta update MoveVR. So let me go to flight configuration. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Resume flight. Let me go to plugins, MoveVR, manage windows, and then we're gonna go here, and I want Live chat, best quality. Move to VR. Here we go. And get this out of here. Wonder if I can make this bigger, if it would be. Yeah. Alright, so we can put this, I guess, over there. Now, there's a couple of things I noticed with this in VR, okay? One thing is the way that the what's the word I'm looking for? The way that it's synced up with, or the way the controllers control the panel. You can see that the buttons are actually elevated, so you don't really touch the buttons. The zones, what's the word I'm looking for? The connection zones or the touch zones or whatever are out from the panel a little bit. Okay, but it's still manageable and everything works properly. So for example, if I wanted to go over to flight plan, I can do that. Oops. But it's not, I don't like really press the button. The button is like, it's shifted over to the left and it's out what it appears to be like in relative terms about a half an inch, okay, in VR, right? But it's still manageable. Not like it's not manageable. Still nice having the, and I can't remove the yoke in this. I'd like to be able to remove the yoke. Alright, let's set flaps. How are the Reverb's controller working in next plane now? They're working, but it's not fully functional. Laminar is working on fixing that. They're in the last beta release of 5.1. They put some logs in there, so if you have problems or whatever, they want you to report it and give them the logs. They're working on I think making it so that when you go to configure them, they're in the joystick configuration stuff. Right now it's usable, but it's a pain in the ass to like bind everything to it, if you will. Alright, so we're going to try out the G1000 here. Baron with a G1000. That's full throttle, gear off. That's pretty damn smooth. It's a nice livery. I got this livery from X-Plane.org. There's 92 and rotate. I do like this plane. I like this plane better than the Carenado Baron. I wouldn't buy the Carenado Baron. I know that Carenados... Don't they have a Baron for... do they have a Baron for X-Plane? I think they do. I wouldn't buy that. This plane is fine. But what's nice is now you got a G1000, so it just makes it... Oh yeah, thank you. Gear up. Flaps up. Thanks, Edwin. I was yapping and forgot to do that. But yeah, so this is, you got your steam gauges over there in case you need them, but you got your G1000. It would be nice if someone in VR could fix the configuration file, the VR config file, so that you're actually touching the buttons, but not a big deal. Makes it much more pleasurable to fly, in my opinion, than having to use the autopilot on the one that's down there on that panel. It's like you can't control the altitude. It's just much. This is much better. And this is a great plane for FSEconomy. I mean, you can fly 5 passengers. You don't like the default position? I think you can change that. I could change that. I mean, you could change that. Yeah, there's actually there's a VR tool to do that. I'm not sure if that's in the OVR tool. There's a couple of tools that allow you to do that kind of change. Or set the default. I can't remember which ones they are. Flies smooth as hell. Let's check out the frame rate. 32. Frame time. under 3. So it's very, very comfortable to fly. And now that you got the G1000, you know, I know where I want to fly. I haven't been to Hawaii yet with the G1000, with the G2. Why don't we go to Hawaii? Let's land this bugger. We'll go check out Hawaii. Yes. I will post a link in a second here, or give me a second here and I'll post a link where to get this. It's definitely worth it. It's a very simple change, and it makes this plane much better, in my humble opinion. For those of us who lean towards the glass cockpits. This is what I mean, like landing in VR. Like in 2D, you could never make these like. You got to be really good to make these tight landings in 2D. In VR, you've got so much control over your environment. You know, 93 knots. It's a great plane to fly, man. All right, why don't we plot a little Hawaii trip in this plane? Let's do that. I like to do that. Thanks, Edwin. Appreciate that. It's much easier in VR. Yeah, I mean, this G1000 has me liking the Baron. Let's put it that way. All right. The only thing I don't like is I can't remove the yoke. I'd like to be able to do that. You can't do that. You can fly with a yoke with the Windows Mixed Reality, although it looks like a little shaky. Haven't tried that. I'm not a yoke flyer with, you know, a control yoke flyer. All right, let's see if we can. Let me see here. We're gonna go. Sorry, that's not what I want. I wanted this. We're gonna go. Well, let's look at FSEconomy because we have an aircraft there. I have an aircraft there. P-Hup. P-Hup needs to get back to PHNL, right? Because it's someone flew it there and left it there, whoever. So let's go P-Hup. P-Hup. Just see how far it is. PHNL. 131. We could do that. All right, let me get this thing going so it can put me in P-Hup here. Let me just change the flight configuration. Change location. P-H-U-P. Nope. H-U-P. All right. Customize. We'll take off that way because that's probably towards the ocean. Let's do customize here and make sure we got enough fuel. Although we're going to fly in FSEconomy, so that doesn't matter. Boom. Start flight. This will take a little longer because it's got to load all the scenery. All right. Let's see. So we're going to go PHNL. And we're going to fly to Harpo. And then we're going to fly to... let's see. No, that's not what I want to do. We're going to fly to Chain. And we're going to fly to, I don't know what this Saley is. We're going to fly to Rogue. And then we're going to come into Honolulu, but we'll come in this way. And we'll come out to Atlanta. So we can have a reasonable turn. That should do us, right? We'll get a little view of the islands. 153 miles. I'm up for that. All right, let's save that. All right, let me close this out. We're loading up there. Let's go to here. Boom, boom. All right, we're already there. Good. Now we're getting 40 frames per second. Very nice. And let's just check out utilization. Because you got to remember, this is mostly water here, right? So there's not a lot of land to build. Running at 92%. Let me show you real quick. Pardon me. 38 frames per second. Running at 90% and 46 CPU. I can't wait for the day where I stop worrying about all the, what do you call it? All right, so we're going to go to P-Hub. Let's see, P-Hub, and we're going to, I don't have any flights, so we're just going to rent this guy. And my flight's going to be Bambino. I'm going to have to pay for this myself. I need to put a little fuel in here, so let's refuel. Let's put 100. Can we put it to, what's the max we can go? 100's going to give us 75%. We probably don't need that for 100. And, well, we'll put 85. It should be plenty. 85 should be plenty. We don't have any passengers. All right, so we're good to go there. I'm going to go to X-Plane. Let me close that out. Go to X-Plane. You guys can't see this. Start the flight. All right, boom, we started our flight. And let's see here. D-Dub, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining. I haven't tried ATS, the Bambino crime family. No, please. Haven't tried ATS yet. I have tried Poker Stars Poker, which is really awesome. All right, let's go over here to see if you can see here. See how the projection, the button is actually. Oh, that's not it. That's it, right? Flight plan. Oh, I'm gonna go here, and then here's the. This is a little tricky because you don't. I'm gonna go to enter. It's like they have to fix that. There's my flight plan. So now let's go to flight plan. There's the cursor, and I want to scroll down to Harpo. And I want to go to menu, and I want to go activate leg. We close the flight plan. Yeah, so it's a little, because it's off-centered and not on the button, that's kind of a pain in the neck in VR, but we'll live with that. Here's the cool part. So we could put a flight plan right there. We could put nav on. Perfect. We could put our altitude, which we're going to fly at 22,000 feet. Come on. 2,000 feet. Vertical speed, we can easily do it right here. 500 feet per minute. Actually, we could probably do 600. We can go over here, put our flap. Now, the flaps are coordinated okay. The throttles are. It's just a G. All this stuff is, because that's normal VR configuration, but these are a little off. So he's got to, whoever's doing this, we should let him know. He's just got to move it back a little bit, you know, like 50 pixels. Hey, thanks for subscribing there. Appreciate that. D-Dub, I appreciate the subscription. He's got to move the connections back a little bit and over. So I'm sure that's something that they can fix. The Great Bambino, the Babe. That's kind of what it's, you know, I was thinking about that before. How did I couldn't remember, like, how did I come up with Bambino? Obviously, it's not my real name, right? It's because when I started this channel, I started as a channel for gaming where I was playing, what's the name of the game? It was Major League Baseball for Xbox, and I'm a Yankee fan, so I came up with Bambino as the name. That's how it's kind of stuck. So sometimes I regret it, but what can I say? It's kind of becoming a little bit of a brand. All right, so we're ready to take off here and capture our flight. So we're kind of Michelle, how you doing? We're in Hawaii now, flying in the G1000 Baron. We're going to crank her up here, release those brakes. I got to tell you, I so much enjoy the ground handling with the rudder pedals in X-Plane 11 over Microsoft Flight Simulator. They really have to do something about that. The sensitivity. All right, rotate. We're up. Gear up. Flaps up. Hawaii looking good. Hopefully this works here. It looks kind of... Autopilot's on. Where's it taking me? Okay, that looks like it's okay. Hey, SimMotion, how you doing? Any stuttering in loading screens with the G2 on? Yes, in X-Plane 11 when it switches between... I'm using Ortho 4XP. So sometimes when you switch between... When you cross over into a new, you know, what do you call it? Panel or grid or whatever, square. In Ortho, you get like the X-Plane 11 screen pop up, like the little notification. You see like a little progress. It's like for a second, and then it goes away. So yes. Now, I'm using hard drives for my Ortho because it's so much. I've got a 6 terabyte Western Digital Black or a hard drive. So it's a fast drive, but it's not SSD. I don't have the money to spend on a 6 terabyte SSD. So to answer your question is you do get those scenery load screens in the G2. But that's not a G2 thing. That happened in the CV1 as well. And that's more of an X-Plane thing, and it's got a lot to do with probably the CPU I'm using. There's a lot of factors around that. So yeah, so Diesel, you were asking about other games. So Poker Stars VR, if you haven't checked that out, it's awesome. You can play poker, you can play blackjack, you can play, there's slot machines, it's all in 3D, works well with the G2, and it looks incredible. That's something I've checked out. I haven't checked out anything else aside from Aerofly. I just haven't had the time. So ATS is definitely on the list. I definitely want to check that out. Yeah, it's unfortunate. On Poker Stars, I had played that with the Rift. Now, I'm a poker player. I've been playing poker for 20 years. Like, I've studied the game and stuff, and I've played a lot of tournaments and actually make money on the side playing poker. But I should say Hold'em. So I was on Poker Stars VR, and it's free. It's not real money, but I had made like millions of dollars, and because I switched from Oculus to Steam, I lost all that money. So I'm starting from scratch again, which kind of sucks. But oh well, it's pretty cool. And now it's changed a lot. Like you can buy in-game currency. They all have all that stuff, which I haven't done. I'm just going to earn my money back. Let's see. There's a new theory. Apparently, we should be setting up the super sampling to 100% and not 50. It's not a bug, and it's supposed to be that way. Oh. Okay, Eshel. I'm going to I'm going to do that right now. Let's check this out right now. Okay, first before I do that, I don't want to forget about this. Give me X-Plane, Baron, G1000. I want to give you guys this link. If you want the X-Plane G1000, here's the link. Here you go. This is the X-Plane G1000. Check that out. Pretty cool. All right. Now what I want to do is let me turn on, because we got a little bit of a flight and a lot of water. So let me turn on desktop. I'm going to go to Steam VR, settings. And you're saying right here it should be 100%? The resolution per eye should be at 100%? Okay, let's try that. See what happens. Well, before I do that, let me look at, let's bring up this. There's performance. Okay, I'm at 89 now, so this is probably gonna, there's 100%. Yeah, because Steve, the guy who's VR Flight Sim guy, he was saying that this should be 50%. All right, so I got that set now. So let me close that so that gets. Hopefully, you don't have to restart. So it looks like that didn't change anything as far as utilization goes. But let me just go here again. Settings. It's still at 100% now. If I go to per application, I've got it at 149. Should that be 100% as well, or? Oh, the application may need to be restarted for settings to take effect. Okay. So I have this at 149. Do the two work in combination, or does this one? I would think that this overrides the global setting, right? Would you agree with that? That this setup for X-Plane overrides? Okay. That's what I thought. All right, good. So I'm going to leave it there. So this is at 149. So does it make sense to have it at 149, or should I just leave it at 100? Do I get anything, Your Pimax, I also decrease steam to my true screen resolution and play with super sampling. Gotcha. Well, I'm going to leave this on 100 then. All right, for now. But I didn't see any effect in the GPU change here, or GPU's utilization. Let me see if it's any clearer. No, it's the same. Like, I didn't change anything, right? Because you gotta reset it. But it seems the same. So my Pimax 5K also decreased steam to the true screen resolution. So basically you've got it set to whatever the one each eye is. What kind of frame rates we getting here? 37, 38 frames per second. Frame time's 0.25, which is fantastic. CPU time. All right, so I've kind of done the same thing. Carl Goling. All right, if I don't make a note of it now, dude, now I'm up to 42 frames. That's pretty cool. Let me go to, hold on here, guys. Carl Goling. Gosling. Kyle Gosling. Carl Gosling. Alright, just subscribe to him. G2 Steam VR bug or no bug? Alright, I see that. I'll check him out. Thank you, man. You can play with screen resolution or super sampling. Just pick the one that gives the best performance and pilot. Michelle, thanks for subscribing. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's going to take a while, I think, for people to dial this in. So let me tell you, I don't know if you guys have seen. I want to ask you guys. We have a little bit of time here. I want to ask you guys a question. I've got. Hold on a second here. I'm planning on upgrading my PC. It's been 4 years. I'm running on a Z170 board. All right, so I'm going to upgrade to a Z490 board. I'm planning on upgrading to the i7 10700K. I looked at that versus the i9 850K, 850K. There's not a whole lot of difference aside from it's 10 cores for the 850 and 8 cores for the 700. Now, I looked at frame rate performance in a bunch of videos, and it's like 2 frames, so it's not a lot. And down the road, when the 11th gen comes, I can upgrade if I need to, right? The question I have, though, is I'm going to stay with the 1080 Ti for now. This new motherboard is going to give me 2 PCI 4 slots. Actually, 3 PCI 4 slots. One is by 16X, the other one is 8X, and the other one's 4X. So 16X is the top one. That's obviously the one where you want to put your main card. I'm thinking about upgrading to an RTX 30 series. And I'm thinking about going at some point. This is after the upgrade, because I want to do the upgrade first, and then I'll, the main upgrade of the CPU first. My thought is I want to go with the 3060 Ti. And the reason is that it looks like it's about a 30, yeah. It's about a 30, like it's a 40% increase on the 1080. And it uses less power. It uses 200 watts. So it should really perform really well for X-Plane, for VR, and Microsoft Flight Simulator, all the stuff that I do. But the kicker is that, I don't know if you guys are into this or not, but I'm into cryptocurrency mining. And the 30 Ti is showing like incredible hash rates for its cost and for its power consumption. You can actually get it down to like 120 watts and at a hash rate, if you guys are into it, of like 60-61, which is really high. So my theory is that I want to get a 10. Once the prices come down and things calm down, I want to get 2 3060 Ti's, so that when I'm not gaming, my PC is running and making cryptocurrency. It can actually at today's hash rates, it'll generate like almost $4, close to $4 a day in Ethereum, which is pretty cool. If you guys aren't into cryptocurrency, I hope I'm not like, it's actually pretty cool stuff, and it's a good way to, while you're not gaming, to make money with your gaming PC by being part of a mining pool, and you can you get cryptocurrency rewards for solving blockchain algorithms, if you will. There's a lot you can find out YouTube videos. So I'm thinking, base thing is 3060 Ti for X-Plane 11 VR and for Microsoft Flight Simulator VR. That's my thought, and as well as Aerofly and all the other stuff I do in VR. Because my gaming is primarily VR stuff. Now, my son uses my computer for Fortnite and playing COD, Warzone and stuff. So I'm sure the 3060 Ti is going to boost up that performance. But it's between the 3060 Ti and the 3070. $100 in difference. $100 in difference at the regular mark. Once the things calm down and you can get your hands on one, and they're both 8 gigabyte of VRAM. The difference is the 3070 has slightly more CUDA cores. Okay, so it's going to perform a little better for gaming, but it doesn't perform as well for crypto mining, at least what the early hash rate tests are coming back at. Which one do I mine? What can you do with cryptocurrency? Well, you can buy stuff with it, or you can turn it into fiat, or which is fiat currency, which is basically cash, U.S. dollars, right? So you mine Ethereum, and you get the rewards for mining it, and then you can turn that into U.S. dollars. Yeah, I agree. The 3060 really looks like a great card for the money. Yeah, you're right. It's a 12% difference. And here's the thing: if I have two of them, and I know X-Plane 11 is probably never going to have SLI, just not. But maybe I'm set up for if I wanted to do SLI for any gaming. Is there a cost to get involved with that? There's no cost. Well, no. There's no cost for the software you use to mine. There's no cost in joining a mining pool. There's no cost in getting if you have an existing GPU, CPU, there's no cost in that hardware, right? So the cost, though, is there's profitability, right? So there's hash rate and there's the cost of power. So it really depends on what you're paying per kilowatt hour in your area. So if right now, and it depends on how, there's a lot of factors, the difficulty in mining. So if the difficulty in mining is low, right, and your kilowatt hours are on the higher side, the national average is like 10 cents a kilowatt hour, okay? You got to check your electric bill to see what your cost is, right? So it's more like operating costs versus capital costs. So there's really no cost in getting involved. It's the ongoing amount of currency you mine versus what it costs you in electricity to mine it, right? So right now with Ethereum, which is the currency that I mine, a 3060 Ti is getting what they call 61 mega hash rates, okay, and at about 120 watts. So if you convert that after power cost, then my kilowatt hour power cost is like 14 cents or 15 cents, which is high because of where I live, unfortunately. A lot of places in the country, it's like 11, 12 cents. So the lower you pay for electricity, the more profit you make. But even with my kilowatt costs, I can make, I think it's like let me just think about this. I think it's $1.70 a day per 3060 Ti in profit, okay? So that's so if I have two of them, I'm making $3.20 a day. Doesn't sound like a lot of money, but don't forget, all you're doing is turning your computer on, booting up the software, and going away and going about your day while you're not gaming, and this thing is mining cryptocurrency, right? So if you look at that, $3.20 a day, let's just round it off to $3, make it easy. It's going to be more than that, though. That's $90 a month, right? $90 a month, $1,200 to almost 12. Well, it's going to be about $1,200 a year. Okay, so if you can get two 3060s, for me, I've already owned my PC, right? Two 3060s Ti's for, let's say, $800, right? You pay off the cost of those cards in, like, what, 9 months, I think it is? So then after 9 months, so in those 9 months, you actually earn back all the money to cover your cards. Okay? Now, after that, you keep mining, all that is gravy because your hardware is paid for. All right? Now, there's a lot of factors. The price of Ethereum isn't always going to stay at $600 a coin. Right now, it's around $600. A month ago, it was at $350. It may go back down. It may go up. It all has to do with the market of cryptocurrency, and it's risky. But the way I look at it is, well, I should say, it's not risky if you're mining. It's risky to buy and sell arbitrage coins. To me, that's risky. Mining it is like being a gold miner, right? Going into the Klondike and going and panning gold, and getting an ounce of gold and going and selling it at whatever the exchange rate is, right? It doesn't cost, once you pay for your equipment, it doesn't cost you any more to mine, right? So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. And I'm looking at my gaming PC to use that as an entry level to get involved, learn more about it, because there's a lot to know. It can be pretty complex. If you want to be profitable, there's a lot to know. So I want to get my feet into it, learn more about it, and then eventually get into like building a rig specifically for mining, right? So where you've got like 8 3060 Ti's, right? Or let's just say 6 3060 Ti's, and they're all mining at the same time. They're all making, each one of them is making $1.60 a piece. Let's say you have 10 of them, $1.60 a piece. Now you're making $16 a day, right? Well, when you're making $16 a day by just turning your computer on, that can add up pretty quick. That can add up pretty quick. So what is that? 350 a day, a month, something like that? I mean, $350 a month, So anyway, I'm getting involved with this because I just think it's interesting and more on a hobby level. And when I started to look at upgrading my PC, I said, well, there's a couple things I want to do with it. Obviously, VR flight simulation. And second thing is I want to be able to mine cryptocurrency. Third thing is I want to be able to do video production and music production on it, because right now I have a Mac Mini that I primarily use for that. So with this new computer that I'm going to be upgrading to, I can move all that function onto the PC, and I can get rid of my Mac Mini, which I can sell for about $450. I have a MacBook Pro for my personal Mac, look at all my personal files and photos and stuff like that. So it sort of like consolidates me out of one computer. And when I really look at it, the cost to upgrade minus buying the 3060 Ti's, after selling the Mac and everything, the stuff that I can pull out of the rig now and sell, like the old motherboard and CPU, it's only going to cost me net like $100 to upgrade it. So it's like a no-brainer, right? Anyway, I'm planning on doing some more videos on mining cryptocurrency as I go along here and learn more, because it's actually a really cool way, if you've got a powerful gaming PC, to use your GPU to make some extra money, So, anyway, Eshel, I'm glad you agree with me on the 3060 Ti. It's a very attractive GPU, from a gaming perspective. $400, low power consumption, small footprint. I'm probably going to go with like EVGA's model because I like their cooling. I've never owned anything but an EVGA GPU, so I kind of like their cooling design, the third-party cooling design. So I'll probably go with EVGA's. But that's being able to get my hands on one, because right now, I tried to buy one on the launch day, Tuesday, and a Newegg was sold out in literally 3 minutes from all the bots and everybody on there trying to get one. And Zoltec has a 5-year warranty? Where are you located? I wonder if they do that in the U.S. Have you used Zotacs before? But anyway, I wasn't able to get one on Newegg, and then I tried Best Buy, and that was a joke too. So basically, the bots bought up all the 3060s and now Ti's, and now if you want one, you got to go on eBay, and they're like, I think the cheapest one I saw was like $600. So. Oh, in India, okay. Are they available? I heard the Chinese crypto miners bought them all up. That's what I heard. Wow, they're available. Cool. Yeah, unfortunately in the U.S., we got this crap going on with the bots that makes it nearly impossible. It's terrible. I mean, Congress should do something about that, Yeah, I mean, I would actually pay $500 for one, I think. But, again, for me personally, my timeline is upgrade the PC, the CPU first, the motherboard first, get the PCI 4 express slots, because that allows you to take greater advantage of the RTX 30 line, and then upgrade. Use the TI, the 1080 Ti for the time being, and get the system settled, and then upgrade the GPU. So I'm in no great hurry to do that. So do you have one, Michelle? Did you buy one? Okay, not yet. Well, you can probably sell your 1080 for around $300 or $400, so you can basically do a swap, pretty much, right? I mean, the 1080s are still selling because graphics cards right now are, but the thing is, you got to get your hand on one, right? Let me get a sip of coffee here, guys, and rest my eyes from VR a little bit. Right now, we're getting 42 frames. And 0.23 frame time, which is great. Let's check the utilization real quick here. I'll just explain what it is here. We got CPU at 50% and GPU at 90%. So we're taking advantage of all that GPU getting up to 42. I just have questions as sometimes I see frame rate's only at 30 and the GPU's at 50. It kind of perplexes me. But the reason why we've got such great frame rates is because this is all water, right? There's no structures. Oh, $250 is what you get for the 1080? Wow. Hey, D-Dub, thanks for becoming a member of the group, man. Appreciate that. It's awesome. I really do appreciate that. Helps out with my upgrade costs, even though it's not going to cost me much in the long run. But I appreciate that. Thanks, man. Yeah, I think the 3060 Ti is going to give you a better G2 experience than a 1080.
Flight 209er clear for Vector 324.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger,
Put it towards the
Victor.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thanks again for becoming a member. I do appreciate that. It's awesome. Yeah, so I also think, you guys tell me if I'm wrong. All right, I think there's some work to be done by Laminar Research to optimize X-Plane for the G2, for Windows Mixed Reality and the G2. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused here, but I feel like I'm flying. I'm going out to sea here. Am I going to make All right, so in 4 miles I'm going to change. Where's my... All right, I think I'm good here. Just getting a little confused on my navigation. Yeah, I think it seems to me that maybe Laminar has to do some optimization for Windows mixed reality and VR? Maybe. You know, I don't know. Oh, I will tell you that. Oh, the glare on the screen, that's what's adding it. Because if I look out, if I go outside, oh, it's much clearer. Oh. I wish you could turn that. See, there's looking through the window, and there's not looking through the window. It's much. Oh, that's much better. Alright, so you got a little bit of a glare from the window. He explained the issue in their blog. Oh. Have to look for that. Alright, Shell, listen, good luck in your race, man. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for the heads up on the configuration on the G2. Really do appreciate it. Thanks for subbing, and we'll see you next time we're streaming. All right? Take care. All right, so Steam provides the same ID for the G2 and the G1, and they can't distinguish between them. Oh. Interesting. So are they working with Steam on that? Hopefully. Hopefully Steam is working on that. That sucks. So that means you don't have that extra resolution. Tell you what, we're using a lot of fuel here. Just going to pull back on the mixture a little bit. Still getting 184 knots, but I should have done this before. We'll go with 14. That's almost half the fuel. Hopefully they'll find a solution. So is that an issue with clarity, or I guess I should read the blog. I'll check it out, but just curious. I'm curious if it's a clarity, if that would be a clarity issue or a frame issue. Probably optimization, I would guess. Well, one thing we know about Laminar is they solve their problems. That's why I'm a faithful X-Plane 11 user. I feel like the $60 I invested in X-Plane 11 4 years ago when I switched to it has been more than paid for with all the updates and feature sets and capabilities that Laminar has provided free of charge as part of basically their software. So their value ratio in my book is super, super high. And they listen to their customers. They have a real passion for what they do. This is why it just seems like a labor of love. Yes, they're a commercial company, and yes, they're a profit generating organization, which makes total sense, right? But I'm a satisfied X-Plane 11 customer. Have there been times when I've been frustrated? Yes, especially during the early days of native VR when they were pulling that out and trying to optimize things pre-Vulkan. They made a promise of Vulkan, and it took them a little longer to do what they wanted to do, but got to tell you that once they were able to get it done, and they're still optimizing. I know Ben wrote that they're still optimizing. It's it's a vast improvement over OpenGL, and I'm a satisfied X-Plane 11 Laminar Research customer. There's no question about it. And there's something to be said for emailing the chairman of the company, the president of the company, and having him respond to you. Not that I have done that often. It's maybe twice I've done that. But both times, he's responded. And not casual response, like a thoughtful response. And he doesn't know who the hell I am. Yeah, I mean, I was involved with helping when they were doing their beta testing of VR way back when, and I, had some had email conversations with development on that and stuff, because I was pretty heavily, like, one of the few involved with VR aviation at the time. It's taken off massively now. So, I mean, I tried to help them through their testing, but he doesn't know who the hell I am. But still, when I emailed him about a couple of things, he got back to me very quickly with a thoughtful response. And to me, that's a connection with your customers that you don't see with other simulators. Let's put it that way. I don't think that if you emailed the president of Asobo about something having to do with Microsoft Flight Simulator VR, that he would respond to you, or even that a developer would respond to you. So there's a real difference in the companies, I mean, just the blogs alone, like Ben's blog, Jennifer's blog, they really lay stuff out for people, and there's no, they let people know where things are, which is what, it's an open, transparent dialogue with their customers, which is, it's just fantastic in my mind. So anyway, like I said, not that I haven't had problems with, or disappointments with X-Plane 11 native VR in the early days, and I've voiced those opinions, and I've had frustrations about configuration and this, that, and I still do. But they are, like you said, they're down to earth, and I think they truly care about what they do. They truly care about what they do, which is awesome. And I got to say, in contrast, not that Asobo doesn't care about what they do, but there are some basic things that they should have fixed by now, 4 months after their release. All right, some basic things, to the point where the mod community has to spend their time fixing, like, the fuel burn on the citation longitude. Right. To me, those are things that should have been fixed, but they're two different companies. One is a massive, multi-billion-dollar, Microsoft, the Microsoft part of it, multi-billion-dollar company, and then Laminar, who's, smaller development shop with, it's going to be much more nimble and a much more, connected experience. So in any event, that's why, personally, I'm sticking with X-Plane 11. I will tell you that everything I've heard that they're getting ready to or they're working on for X-Plane 12 is going to be phenomenal. So we'll all need heavy GPUs and CPUs for that. That's for sure. Yes, Sar, I agree with you. It's still in beta phase. Okay. I don't even think it's release candidate stage. It's beta stage. Okay. The "we need to wait" part, I would change the word "need" to "have." We have to wait. Okay. So I've said this before, and people may disagree with me, but when they were marketing Microsoft Flight Simulator before the August 18th launch, they never mentioned anything about it being beta level or beta status or release candidate status. They never They never said, okay, look, it's not really ready. There's going to be a lot of problems, but we want to release this, guys, to you. They never said that. Okay? They marketed it with those slick marketing videos that were produced on, basically supercomputers, right? To make it look so realistic that people were like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. Okay? And what they delivered was almost alpha. All right? So I wouldn't have had a problem with that if they said it, look, pre-order, early release, early access, that kind of thing. But that's not what they did. They sold it as released. Okay? They sold it as released. Myself and many others paid $120 for the full-blown super deluxe version of MS 2020. Okay? And what they delivered for that extra $60 was crap. The 4 planes that you get for that extra $60 are all dysfunctional, basically. You can't trust the way they function. So, yes, it's in beta stage, but we have to wait. Okay? And I think, you're going to find fanboys that say, oh, all people do is complain and blah, 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 blah. Personally, as a consumer, I view it as it's your right to, as a consumer, to expect certain value for giving your money to a company. All right? And when you give your money to a company and you don't feel like you got that value, then you have the right to complain about it. Now, I got value out of it because I got content out of it, and that's why I didn't return it. I would tell you right now that if I wasn't doing streaming or content creation on YouTube, I would have returned it and got my money back until I found out that it was solid. Okay? No question about it. Totally agree that they need to say it's beta. Yes. Yes, the YouTuber hype. I'm not going to name names, but I can think of at least 3 or 4 predominant flight sim YouTubers that completely overhyped prior to the release. And to be honest with you, I don't trust those guys anymore. I'm not going to name who they are, okay? But you guys probably know who they are. I don't trust them anymore because they were putting a bow on a pig, if you will, all right? They had pre-release, they were streaming early, they wanted to get the content, they wanted to get the views, they wanted to get the eye candy out there. Oh my God, this is amazing. Oh my God, look at this. This looks so amazing. It's so amazing. And I remember I was like, wow, I got to buy this thing. This so-and-so and this so-and-so and this guy, people that are flight sim people on YouTube and Twitch that I follow. Okay, I trust these guys because, and then when I bought it, I hopped in the SR-22, and I remember distinctly, like the first day I had it, I was flying that plane around Augusta National in Georgia, and all of a sudden it started flying like a washing machine. And I have a video. It's one of the live streams I did. I think it's on my First Impressions live stream. You couldn't fly the thing. It all of a sudden just started flying like a washing machine, jumping around and flipping around, and the autopilot didn't work, and it was diving and changing altitude, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. No, dude, they knew the release date was coming. Okay? This was like days before the release. This was like, August 15th, around then. 3 days, maybe 3-5 days before the release. They knew it was coming out, okay? They knew it was coming out. They got free versions. They were part of the beta. I don't know what happened behind the scenes, okay? I don't know what happened behind the scenes. Maybe they were compensated. Maybe they weren't. I don't know. They never said, the people that I'm talking about never said that they were. And maybe they didn't have a bad experience. I remember watching a couple streams where they did. And they wrote it off and said, "Oh, that's okay. Well, that's not good." And they just went to the other, went to the next thing. To me, they were party. These people were party to not a deception. Deception's too deep of a word. They weren't being honest about it. Oh, you use $1 promotion. Yeah, that was smart. That was smart. You use that promotion for $1 and try it out. And that, I wish I could have done that. But like I said, I'm not going to lie to you. I bought it for content creation, and I was able to create content with it and got a lot of viewers and subscribers and stuff. So I got that value out of it. But I got to tell you, I don't get flight simulation value out of it. Even in 2D, it's a lot less unpredictable now than it was. But it's still unpredictable. Anyway, that's my problem with Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yes, 2 years from now, it's going to be probably all wrapped, fixed up, and much better, and VR is going to work and all that. It's going to look great. Okay, fine. But the early days, there was deception. And they sold hundreds of thousands of copies. They made tens of millions of dollars in that first couple of weeks selling that. Tens of millions. I work for a software company. Okay? I've worked for software companies for decades. I will tell you that if we had hyped the product the way that product was hyped, and we delivered what they delivered, our customers would have asked for their money back. All right, Honolulu off my right wing there. We're going to make a turn and land. Hey, Bruce, if you're still here, you got your rant for today. Yeah, so I will tell you that the headset movement is very smooth right now. But I love the fact that if you remove the glare from that window, it's much better. Let's go outside and see what it's like. Isn't that livery nice? Just simple livery. Not complicated. I could actually turn that into VR Aviation livery. The red is right. Look at that. That's cool, man. All right, I tell you what, little known fact that the Baron is the first plane that I fell in love with to fly in virtual reality in Airfly FS2. I love the Baron, and then I got, I was flying the old Baron before the G1000, an X-plane. I wasn't too impressed, but I will tell you now that I'm very impressed with this G1000. It's awesome. I've already put the link in the description, or just go on X-Plane.org and search X-Plane 11 Baron G1000 and you'll find it. Just Google that, you'll find it. And it's free, it's an add-on, it works great, except for the fact that they've got to line up. Oh, my sensor went off here again. Okay. They have to line up the VR config file. See, it's just. I will tell you that tracking is very good with this headset. I haven't had any issues with tracking. All right, we're going to go full mixture now because we're going to be landing here soon. Easily make out the 3 runways. Alright, give me 1 second here. Alright, let's autopilot's off now. Pull back that throttle. Yeah, sorry, you were smart to do the $1 promotion. I didn't do that. I probably should have done that. All right, gear is down. Flaps first position for approach. Slowing that plane down, get a little more throttle so we don't stall. Airport's looking great. Full flaps. No, I haven't. I mean, I'll show you. It seems a little shaky. You mean like use the yoke for the VR controllers? When I land here, I'll show you. I never liked that anyway. I have a yoke. I was never into using the controllers to fly because I like the feeling of having my hand on a yoke. I use the CH products, their entry-level yoke and throttle and stuff, so I'm not a fan of that. But I'll show you that you can do it. You can grab it and control it, but it looks a little shaky. They're working on improving the configuration. This looks super clear. Super clear. All right, we are down, baby. I like the Baron again, man. I like the Baron. I wish it had 6 passengers, though. Only has 5 passengers. But it's a cool little plane, and I love it with the G1000. All right, let's go over this way. I think I'm getting great frame rate here. Yeah, 33, 35. It's got to be sub 3 frame time. But looks great. And this plane is very VR friendly as far as frame rate and stuff. That's what's nice about it. Well, I'm actually on the roadway here, which is not good, but that's okay. We're going to bring ourselves over to the GA parking. All right, so you wanted to see, so yeah, you can grab this. Just click the button. Now I just pressed the trigger button, and now it's locked in, and you can see it. You can control it, right? But it's not. You just basically turn your wrist like that. I'm turning my wrist here. Let me just stop the plane. So if I turn my wrist, that's playing with the ailerons, and if I move my wrist up and down like that, so I could see it actually working okay if you got the sensitivity right. Like I said, I'm not a yoke controller flyer. I'd rather, a virtual yoke flyer. And I don't have. I know you have that setting in X-Plane 2 that allows you to make this much better. So, but yeah, it looks like it can be done. Okay. And you just press the trigger again to release it like that. All right, let's go park this baby. Yeah, I like this Baron now, man. I like it. I like it. All right, parking brake. Oops. Yeah, let's go outside here. How do you teleport? There you go. That's the one thing that is weird about like you can't control. I don't have it set up so you can control. You teleporting, you got to press the button. I want to be able to press down on the joystick to teleport. You have to press one of the B button or whatever to teleport, so if I go over here I can see. There's the plane. There's the old Baron. Yes, smooth. Very smooth. All right, guys. Well, listen, that's going to about do it for me today. We're coming up to 3 hours in the stream. I really appreciate you guys hanging out, and thanks for the guidance and configuration, those who helped out. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, and hit the notification button so you know when I'm streaming and putting up new videos. I'm going to be adding more videos on my upgrade, so look for that coming in the close to near future. And we'll take it from there. All right, guys, listen. Have a great rest of the weekend, and stay safe out there. We'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.